Oh, here comes a couple.
What was the pink container? Oh, never mind, see it.
Okay, let me change my attendance real quick, and then let's get started. Okay, oh, here comes another one. Okay. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Some of you already had an answer for this one. How did you do it? If you have an answer for this one already, what did you do? Loop-de-loop. Anytime we see one logarithm, please think about loop-de-looping. So 4 to the x equals 64. Now, for this part of the test, this is no calculator. You will have a baby. So if you don't know that 4 to the third is 64, you can figure it out by just doing 4 times 4 times 4 on your calculator, right, your baby calculator, until you get to 64. X is 3. All right, number 2. Remember, it's no calculator. So I've kind of programmed you that when you see an X up here to use logarithms, but not without a calculator, right? We can't do that without a calculator. So what do we do instead?
We're gonna get the same thing.
Find a common base. And honestly, when you see 9 and 27, that should like click with you because they are both powers of 3. So 9 is 3 squared. So when you change that 9, it's 3 squared. And then what's 27? 3 cubed. And then once you have them both the same, then what can you do? You can drop the bases and just focus on solving the exponents. And they're exactly what they look like. They are distributives. So 4x minus 6 equals 3x plus 24. Right? And then subtract 3x, looks like x equals at 6. Did you get 30?
Yeah.
All right. Write as a single, all these are test questions. I know this says practice quiz, but these are all test questions. Log m plus 2 log n minus 3 log q. And you're going to write this as a single logarithm. Okay? All right, now, what are you going to do? What's going to be inside that parentheses? First of all, what's going to be happening with the m and the n? They're multiplied. And what's going to happen with the q? It's divided. Now, does that make sense to everybody? Remember, when logarithms are added, it means the numbers have been multiplied. Now, what about all the 2 and the 3 that's in there? What am I going to do with that?
The n is cubed.
They are the exponents. So the 2 goes on the N, only on the N, and the 3 goes only on the Q? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Number 4. I'm not even gonna write it down, because you should know immediately that the answer to number 4 is root 10? Why is it root 10? Because ln and e gone, and the only thing left is root 10. Everybody got that? We gotta get those kind right. Those are the easy ones. All right, 5. A little more complicated.
Did you cube? Did you cube or did you answer what?
Yeah, but the coefficient
So you cubed out.
Okay, now we know, because I keep saying it over and over again, that there's lots to be done in the problem, and the order you do it doesn't matter. So you just have to start doing something, all right? So, Lemos, what do you want to do? There's no right or wrong answer, we just have to do something. So what do you want to do?
Start by coefficients. Coefficients. Cube.
Well, yeah, nothing's gonna happen with that 2 and that. Are you looking in here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2 and the 5 aren't going to change, because 2 and 5 don't cancel. If it'd been 2 and 4, I could
I
cancel.
thought you cube when it's like square or
Now,
something.
what about my x's?
Just multiply it.
Now be careful.
No.
It's an x squared. Think about what that means. X squared over x to the 5th. What's going to happen with those guys? Aren't you going to end up with 3 extras in the bottom? Well, they simply cancel.
Oh no, I was talking about the 3. I thought you cubed.
Well, I haven't done anything with the 3 yet.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3's waiting. I wasn't sure what Amos was doing, so he's working in here,
Okay.
all right? Now, what about my y's? What's happening with those?
You're bringing 4 down.
These are coming down.
Y is
So now, how many do I have down there?
10. 10 Y.
10? Now, Willow, I gotta take care of that 3. So I'm gonna cube the 2. 2 cubed. What's 2 cubed? 8. And then, I gotta cube the 5. So I have 8 and 125. Now, I never cube an exponent. I never square an exponent. Instead, what do? Multiply?
Yep.
So I have x to the 9th and y to the 30th.
That's it.
Is that all right with everyone?
I'm so confused.
All right, backside.
Can't you just take your life?
Can you do this one? Let's see. Mr. McGinley, what are we gonna do first? Flip it, absolutely. Remember, guys, if we have a negative exponent, we take care of that first, right? So this is gonna be 1/4 to the 3/2. This flips. So it's 4/1, it becomes 1/4. Now, Connor, what does a fractional exponent mean?
You square root
I
it.
got a root, that's exactly right, it's a radical. And in this case, it is a square root, so it's going to be square root cubed.
Yep.
What is the square root of 1/4?
One
1/2. But you have to cube it,
1/8.
1/8. So your answer to the problem is 1/8. Mary, what are you gonna do with this one? Loop-de-loop. So 7 to the negative first equals x.
Flip it. Third.
And what is 7 to the negative first?
1/7.
1/7. Eight is so simple, I'm not gonna write it down. What's the answer to number 8?
82.
82. 82. Nine is the opposite of the one we did over there that had the M's, N's, and Q's in it. This one is already condensed. It's one logarithm. But I need to expand it.
It'll be 2 log 5 x plus log 5y minus log 5.
Perfect, perfect. He just gave you the answer. And it's okay if you go straight to the answer, it's fine. For those of you that aren't sure about what he just said, when we say expand this, we're going to have 3 logarithms. Now the base has nothing to do with it. That 5 has nothing to do with it, you just carry that along. So it's a log base 5 x, log base 5 y, log base 5 z, because those are the things in my problem. Every letter in the problem is going to have an individual logarithm. All right? And then he said there should be a 2 out in front of that one. Would you agree with that? And then he said I'm going to add these 2 and subtract that one. Because these were multiplied and that one is divided. Everybody good? Again, the 5s have nothing to do with anything. They're just part of the problem. Okay, now we have to solve number 10. Okay. So when I look at number 10, I have this tremendous urge to do this. Don't. What's our rule? We can drop out the logarithms, but when?
Log equals log.
Log equals log. All right, so that side's okay. This side is not. Those have to be combined. So tell me what we're gonna do to combine those.
2x. Log.
It's gonna be log base 4 of something. What's the something?
2x.
2x. And why is it 2x? Because those are added, right? Okay. Now, it's log equals log. So now I can say 2x equals 19 and x equals 19 halves.
So once you get log, you can cross them out.
Yep. Once it's log equals log. Okay? Do not cancel those logs until you've combined. Okay, 11 looks scary. Anybody have a, Willow?
Divide 8.
Absolutely. Whenever your problem has an extra number, you want to divide it out. So we're gonna divide that out. So 3 to the 2x plus 5 equals 9. Oh boy, that's happy, joyous news. Why?
Because you can get a base.
9 is 3 squared. So now we have 3 to the 2x plus 5 equals 3 squared. Right? And then what?
You can do 2x plus 5.
2x plus 5 equals 2. 2x equals -3 and x equals -3 halves. Okay? And another solved problem. Now, are you gonna, this is another logarithmic equation. Are you gonna be able to drop the logarithms?
Yeah.
No, boys and girls, you cannot drop the logarithms. In fact, you can't do anything with this problem until you put these together. They've gotta go together. Okay? You can't have 2 logarithms on the same side of an equation. So how are they gonna go together? It's gonna be the log of one thing.
2x cubed.
Be careful. I'm gonna have a 2 and an x. Would you agree with that? And they're gonna be multiplied together? Well, what do I do with that 3? That 3 is an exponent, but what's it an exponent on? Just the 2. Isn't that an exponent on just the 2? What's 2 cubed? 8. So again, these are getting multiplied because of the plus. But that coefficient becomes an exponent on what it's attached to. And it's attached to the 2. Right now, what do I do?
Is that it?
What? Loop-de-loop. Absolutely, I'm gonna loop-de-loop it. I got one logarithm, so I'm gonna loop-de-loop it. What's my base? 10.
I thought it was 5.
Oh, it is 5, sorry, I didn't write it down, so then I assumed it was 10. It is 5, thank you, in the original problem, it was 5. So now I have 5 to the first equals 8x. So x equals 5/8. Okay? Alright, now, we got 2 more things to do. So the first thing we're gonna do is hand back, some homework. And those of you that haven't done the homework, we're gonna be working on it right now because the homeworks that got turned in, there are some errors. I wanna get those corrected. So let me, you do 3-6 homeworks. So if you already got yours back another day, because you turned it in early or something, please get it out. The rest of you are handing them out right now. And I want to correct your errors. Because there were a lot.
Did you get an anything?
I got a 10, but that's 24.
You're not shooting at this. I need you to put that in.
Let
Alright.
me see one.
So let's look at
We're going over 3-6 homework.
3-6 homework. Oh yeah, sorry, if you already turned it in there. We're going over it right now because we are fixing some stuff.
Oh, we had 1 0.
So-
0.025. That's what I was thinking.
Who got a paperback and you missed something? You got a paperback just now and you missed something. All right, Kyle, which one did you miss?
Number 3.
3. All right, let's do number 3 on the homework. We need our calculators. Get your calculators out. We definitely need those. And we're doing number 3. So read the question and decide which formula do I need. Do I need PERT or the other one? Watch it. I need the other one. If it had said compounded continuously, I would use PERT. But it says compounded monthly, so I am using this formula. All right, that's given to you. You don't need to memorize it, but you need to know that's the one you need. All right, so Kaya, what did you put where?
I put the 34,008.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. That's what I want to end up with. And my variable is P. That's what I'm trying to figure out how much they need to put in. So 1 plus. All right, now here is the first place that I'm seeing a lot of mistakes. What do I put in for the interest rate?
0.035.
Exactly. It says 3.5, but you don't put 3.5. 3.5%, you have to move that 2 places, so it is 0.035. Right, is everyone listening? Because about half the people use the wrong rate. You have to change the percent into a decimal, move it 2 places. Okay, I'm compounding monthly, so N is 12, and I'm doing it for 18 years. All right. Does that look okay to everyone? All right, now, all we have to do is type this in, all right? All we have to do is type it in. I'm not gonna use logarithms, because what's my rule about logarithms? I only use them when this is my variable, and it isn't. In fact, what's 12 times 18?
216.
216?
0.035. I had 2 zeros right
So, would you all agree
and I got 89.
that it's ugly, but isn't this just some number?
Yep.
That's some number. And if I wanna know what P is,
You divide by that.
don't I just have to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divided by that number? Okay, so let's type that into our calculator. And we're gonna type it in exactly the way I wrote it. Parentheses, 1 plus 0.035 divided by 12, close parentheses, raised to the 216th power. Now do not write that number down. That is this, right? So now I'm simply going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and divide it by second answer. And now I have no round off, and I have my answer, which is 18,426.99. On test day, if you don't get my answer exactly, you're going to lose points. All right, now not totally, I mean, obviously if it's a round off error, it's just a minimal deduction, but there's a lot of problems where you can have round off error, and you don't want to do that. So, when you get it all set up, just kind of look at it, this is nothing more than a division problem. I need to get P by itself. So I'm going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and divide it by that mess right there. All right, did everybody get this number?
Yep.
This time? All right. Cole, what did you miss?
Just the 34.
Same one, all right. You missed number 2. All right, so what formula am I gonna use for number 2?
RT, PRT. Per.
I am going to use the same one.
Yep.
Why am I using the same one? Compounded quarterly. Right? So, same formula. All right, so, Cam, what did you put in where?
The P was 650
Okay,
and 1 plus 0.225.
watch it.
Oh,
0.0225.
over 4.
Right, guys? 0.0225
Yep.
over 4. Yep, quarterly. And how many years are you doing this for? 12. So I'm going to go ahead and make that exponent 48. Is that okay? And I'm looking for A. Well, here's another one. Do I need logarithms?
Nope.
No, I'm just going to type it in. Exactly the way I wrote it. So 650 parentheses 1 plus 0.0225 divided by 4, close parentheses to the 48. We shouldn't have any round off error. This is going to be $850.83. That okay? All right. Anybody miss one? Bo, what'd you get for number 1?
46.635.
Perfect.
And then unit.
Anybody miss one?
What is it?
Number 1. Anybody miss it?
No, what did Bo say?
It's 46.6. So.
Do we need to put units or like
Yeah.
after?
You always should put a unit if one's provided, so that would be years.
Oh.
That would be years.
Can we go over that real quick? I missed that because I put days.
All of your money problems are gonna be years. Because the formulas are all, interest rates are always yearly interest rates. Yeah.
Why are y'all trying to get on it?
Okay, all right, then the last thing
Chill, I have not told.
we have to do,
Chill,
here's the last thing we have to do. We're gonna do 6 problems for practice. And some of them are gonna be calculator problems, because I wanna make sure everybody can type it in. So, first problem, and you can do this somewhere. You can have paper with these. Here's the first problem. 3 times 5 to the x equals 19. This is a calculator problem,
Are we like going up
okay? Notice, where is the exponent? Crap, I know where's the variable? The variable is in the exponent, so am I going to need logarithms at some point?
Yep.
But not first. What happens first?
Divide by.
Divide by 3. And I'm just gonna leave that 19/3. Now, what am I gonna do?
Log.
I'm gonna log both sides. And why do I do that? What happens next? The exponent comes out in front. And once it's out in front, I can get it by itself. See, I can't get it by itself when it's up there. Now I can by dividing by
Log
log 5.
I got
So, go to
0.8.
your calculator.
Yeah, give me a mark.
Log 19 divided by 3 divided by log 5.
0.871.
Oh, no.
No.
1.147. 1.147.
Oh, I flipped it.
So make sure you're closing the parentheses around the 19/3.
And after that, it's barbecue chicken.
Now did you get it? 1.147?
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Oh.
Now you try this one on your own. try this or on your own.
You got
Let's
one more.
do negative two. Negative 2 times
Are you on right?
Yes.
6 to the x equals negative
You right, shame on me.
18.
You need one?
Try that one on your own.
Oh, wow.
Let's say you got
Lafitte,
boy.
Lafitte, Lafitte. He drew
I
Lafitte.
see. Cool. Who did you? Oh, the sophomore. You said who's Lafitte?
Raise your hand if you get 1.226. One person. We do them again, right?
I divided by negative.
Did you get 1.226?
Yep. And I got.
Okay, what's the first step?
Um,
Divide by negative 2. So 6 to the x equals 9.
You got a negative one?
Now,
no, it's not.
Luke, that does not say, if it said 6x equals 9, then I would divide and get 3 over 2. But that's not what this says. This says 6 to the x.
Oh, yeah.
You can't solve for that x if it's up there, so we gotta get it down. How do we get it down?
Bring that.
We use a logarithm. So we take the logarithm of both sides. Now the x can come down.
Get a nasty marker.
And now I can divide Luke, but it's log 9 divided by log 6.
I got
Stink.
Alright? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, one more. I thought we'd have more time.
Oh,
I think I have to go pretty soon.
I'm confused.
So one more. Let's solve this equation.
Say blast.
Shit.
As they say, barbecue chicken.
You would
I'm not familiar with that
Y'all,
brand.
both of y'all like trash. Y'all just trash.
Alright, here we go, guys.
Both of y'all just trash.
Where's I can't.
What do we do?
Do we need to get the same log?
We can't do anything until these get put together. Okay? Big rule. Can't have two logarithms on the same side of the equation. So you gotta smash them every time. So what's gonna happen to these? They're gonna go together, all right. And how are they gonna go together? Oh, that should be a 4. How are they gonna go together?
2x.
2 times x. Why are they going together as 2 times x?
Because it's
Because these are
added together.
added. If that had been subtracted, it would be 2 over x. Now what do you do?
2x.
Loop-de-loop. So 4 cubed equals 2x. What's 4 cubed?
64.
4 times 4 times 4, 64. And then we'll divide, and the answer to the problem is 32. All right, let's clean our desks off and get ready to go. If you want to leave your stuff, there'll be nobody in the room.